All right. So I'm going to show you guys some different characters that I play and then my group plays.
Okay.
And I want you guys to give me your honest opinions on them.
Okay.
So before we begin, a little bit of backstory. All these characters come from a video game. And in the video game, there are a bunch of students, a bunch of high school students. And they are all from Japan. And they're the best of the best at what they do. They all have talents. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think their talent is, and then what do you like about them, or like in their designs or whatnot, or what do you think they act like?
Okay. We'll give it our best shot.
No, wait a minute. Can I?
Yes?
But these are Asian people, you're saying?
No, they're animated characters.
They're fictional characters.
Oh, fictional characters. Okay.
Yes, you'll see in a second. Let me start off with the first one, and I think it'll just get easier from there. So let's see. The first one here is Kaede Akamatsu.
Okay.
And she's the main protagonist. So she's the main character in the video game series. A lot of people really like her. What do you think her talent is?
Very independent.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Or what do you think she does? Maybe.
well, I think she shines light on whatever it is she's looking at. That she can see through a bunch of BS, and she's not about to take anything from anybody. And you can see by her fist that she might be a tad angry.
Mm-hmm.
You can see by her outfit that she doesn't really care what anybody thinks of her mode of dress.
Mm-hmm.
Although she may be a bit vain about her hair, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But her power, seeing through people, maybe. And
here's a hint. If you notice, like, on her dress, you can see musical notes.
Oh. That's not helpful.
She's a pianist.
No, she is not.
She's a pianist. She plays piano.
Okay.
She's known as
And
the
that's
super
her-
high school level pianist.
Wow. Well, it's funny that her hand is in a fist. You would think she would be, like, posed to make a chord.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so that's the first girl.
Okay.
What do we
All right.
do? We like her? Do we think she's
I like
cool?
her. Yeah, I think she's strong.
She think she's strong?
Yeah. What do you think, David?
You think she's pretty? Or not too much opinion on her?
I don't have too much of an opinion. Her eyes don't convince me. Her eyes look soft and as related to personality, and not a daring, strict leader.
Really? Okay.
But more of a person that calms the situation as opposed to being in charge.
Okay. Well,
No,
I liked your opinions on both of them, and
I hardly disagree, but that's okay.
And honestly,
That's
you're
okay.
both of you guys aren't too far off on what she's
Okay.
actually like. So I'm
All
pretty
right.
impressed by that. I'm gonna say. So that's Kaede Akamatsu. That's the first one. Next up is, if it will load, this is the first boy. This is Suichi Saihara.
Okay.
What do you think his talent is?
He, by the way he's tipping his hat, he seems subservient to me. By the way he's Natalie dressed, I think he's too caught up in his appearance.
Would you like a clue?
Yeah.
Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
Oh, so he's the investigator.
Right
he's...
there, that badge tells us that.
Oh, I didn't see the badge. I just saw the
He's
tip
a-
of the hat, and
He's a detective.
he's a
Detective
detective.
with his uniform.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
So I think his demeanor belies the detective thing, which is probably good for him.
Mm-hmm.
It probably lets him sneak around the scenery, and people think he's like the dandy cop who doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe that's what he uses to get past any barriers. Is he's just trying to be the dandy neat cop, and he's using that persona to lead people astray because he's really an investigator.
Good. I like that. That's honestly a really good opinion of him. Not exactly what he's like, but I really like
Alright,
that.
what do you think,
What do you think,
David?
David? Do you have any opinion on what he's wearing or anything about him?
Like I said, he's based on his badge and his stripes on his shirt. He's not a rookie, and he's.
But he's a bit of a fuck.
But at the same time, you don't see any firearms, which makes him more of a higher up police person without being on the street. He's more an administrative and being a commander of some kind of way, and tipping his hat makes him a polite kind of person and respectful of hearing both sides of the story.
Good, good. I'm not going to ask this about all the other characters, but what do you think this character? How do you think it gets along with the first girl that I showed you? Do you think they get along well?
Antagonistic.
Really? Okay. You don't? You think they kind of have opposing opinions, maybe?
I do, because I think, or at least I think they butt heads because they both, I think, have egos. And so I think.
But do you think maybe that kind of helps them achieve better things because they can both kind of?
Yeah, I suppose that they challenge each other. I would guess, and she looks very much like Devil May Care, what I look like, and he's like, I'm a fop, and I have my helmet, and I have my tight uniform, and I really like the way I look. And she really didn't care. So I think probably they're on opposite sides of a coin, but maybe between the two of them, they're able to solve crimes.
Interesting. I like that. Okay. So that's the first two. Next up, another guy. This is Koichi Oma. His talent's pretty hard, so you don't have to guess if you don't want to.
He has something in his hand. What is that?
That's a Fanta bottle.
A Fanta bottle.
You know Fanta?
I do know Fanta.
He's got a Fanta bottle. It's an off-brand Fanta, but it's a Fanta.
Yes. This looks sort of like a bowl over here. Is that what that is?
That's his cape.
I know, but the bowl...
It's like tendrils of his cape.
Tendrils. Okay.
Like it's all like destroyed and such.
Yeah. Does he fly? Or
no, he's kind of... with that hat on, you're
getting close. If you can figure out what that hat means,
he's an authoritarian. He wants to be in charge.
Smart brain on this guy.
And why this cape thing? He's trying to pronounce that he is super in charge.
Very much so, because his talent is he is the ultimate supreme leader. He is the leader of a cult.
Okay. Does the Fanta give him supreme powers or anything?
I honestly don't know why he has that. I forget, but he seems to like that for some reason, and a lot of people seem to like him liking that.
But he seems benevolent when you look at his face.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's a supreme power, he might listen to you if you had something to say.
Really? With that smile? You think so?
Yeah. I do.
I'm not.
You think it's a smirk?
Do you think it's a smirk? Or do you think it's a genuine smile?
I think it's a genuine smile, but the eyes have not portrayed to me any strength.
Any strength?
In all three of them.
Really? Okay, so you don't think any of them have been strong leader-wise, especially not this one. Eye-wise. In their eyes. You don't see any leadership skills. No. That might just be the eyes. You might not like the eyes of any of these characters, because that's just how they're drawn. Okay. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So that's Kokichi Oma. Next up is the character that I play. This is Rantaro Amami. He's got green hair. He's a very special case out of most of these guys because, well,
He's brighter than most. No, he is. And he's wily, and he can see through all of the other cast of characters. And these eyes are alert. These eyes are seeing everything. And yeah, he's casual dresser. Interested in pretty much anything that comes his way.
See, the thing about his talent is we don't know what it is.
I think it's
a mystery.
Intelligence. It's super intelligence.
But at the same time, he's independent. Independent because if you look at, he's got rings on his hand.
And the jewelry on his
the jewelry on his and he's got on his some kind of a
he's got like little wristbands on his arm. And you'll also notice he's got like little jewelry on his ear.
And he's kind of a, now his eyes are soft. I mean, and he's
alert.
And he's more hippie. He's more not. I'm gonna
more
say
hippie. Yeah.
He's more relaxed.
Okay.
He's and the low neck, the collar on his shirt is more casual.
He's going to be the love interest of the first girl we saw.
No way. You really think that?
I do. Independent, out there.
He's independent.
I honestly love that because what do people do online when they think two characters should be like romance? They say they ship them, and I'm a big shipper of that. So I'm totally with you. The first girl and him, we both ship that.
Yep.
So I'm very proud of that. So you like those two. That's good to know.
Yeah, because she's not going to be happy with the
first
constable or the
detective or the leader. No. But this guy, you think?
Absolutely.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
And they would be a great team. They bring different things to the table.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
So I voice this guy, and when I voice him, it's pretty much like my normal voice, except it goes a little bit lower, a little more sensual, and a bit more deeper. And people seem to really like that. So that's me for Amami.
Okay.
And let's move on to the next one. This one's a girl, I believe. Yes, this is Miu Iruma. What do you think her talent is? Hers might be a little bit easier to guess. I'm not sure. What do you think she does?
With her garter belt stockings on and her low.
What's she carrying?
Garter belt and stockings. She mows the lawn. Is that what you said?
No.
What do you do over there?
She's got these like 10. What's she carrying there?
And she's got a low cut.
And she has dynamite.
She's got dynamite, and she's got these glasses on up here.
And she looks like
she works at the Round Bar.
Mom, your opinions will come later. Get out of here. Get out of here.
It looks like she could ski down a mountain. Now, I don't know what those things do, whether they leap tall mountains, and I still can't figure out what she's holding in her. I think that's a match, and this is the candle. Oh, I get it. I thought it was TNT. I didn't get that it was a candle.
It might be TNT, but I think it's a candle.
Say it is. So she lights something and she leaps over it.
I think she's there to entice and
entice and incite.
She's an inventor, in case you couldn't tell.
No, I could not tell.
She makes all kinds of.
She could invent
robotics and engineering things.
I can see that now that I know it with the
garter belt. She can invent something new.
Mm-hmm. How do you think she? What do you mean? do you like the way she dresses, or do you not like that? Do you think she?
No, I like it.
No, you like it.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I don't know. She dresses to be noticed. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And maybe.
Do you think she's confident in herself?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And she's got pretty eyes.
She's got pretty eyes. This is the first time you've been complimenting on any of the eyes. I'm surprised.
I don't. And I would say she's confident because she's an inventor. However, she dresses like someone who's not confident, who needs the attention of other people to give her confidence.
Okay, so she is confident, but she needs
affirmation.
Okay. I can see that,
think so.
actually. I
Yeah.
like that. That's good. Okay. So that's Miyu Iruma.
Okay.
Next up is another girl, I believe. This is Sumuki Shirogane.
She's kind. She is.
Any guess what her talent might be?
Yeah, it looks like sewing or something.
Pretty close.
Yeah,
she's a cosplayer, which means she dresses up as other characters.
I see. Okay. And I can see how she would be good at that because she could blend in as herself, or she could.
She's got
the
sewing needles right
Sewing
there.
needles
Yeah.
right there.
Got some
Okay.
makeup and other
Yeah.
things.
And she's
Different
got
kinds
the-
of things to wear.
Mm-hmm.
But she's likable. She's she could maybe be friends with the constable, but she's not. She's not anybody who's of interest to most people. She's
She's
kind of
young.
plain.
she's a worker
young.
bee.
She's,
bee. Okay.
she's,
Worker bee.
she's young and she is number 7 in a cast of 10.
Ooh, that's some harsh words there.
Yeah, that's very harsh.
Well,
But you know what? You're not too far off. You're not too far off. That's so far you guys have been the closest, I think, to
But-
representing her.
But once she assumes the character of some other people, she can. I mean, that
You
she
think-
probably comes out of herself and becomes a
Ah.
bit stronger.
Okay.
Don't
I
you
like that. So like maybe as herself she's not so she's kind of
Right.
insecure, but when she dresses up as someone else, she can be stronger.
Right, she can be that.
She can be that kind of
Character,
person
yeah.
or that character. Good. Okay. Who's next? Another girl. This is Maki Harukawa.
It's very sad.
She's very sad. Yes.
It's very sad, and
Her talent, you probably could not guess because she doesn't have anything that says so on her. She is the ultimate child caregiver.
oh well, no
She
wonder
takes
she's
she
sad.
takes care of children.
Yeah, she's
takes care of children.
she's unhappy.
She's unhappy. Do you think she likes her job?
No.
No.
I think she really wants to be outdoors person with those boots on and those shoes and that walk up mountains and that kind of stuff.
I think she has talents that have not been recognized, and so they stick her as the childcare person. But she has talents that far outweigh some of the other characters, and they haven't discovered it yet.
You are smarter than a lot of people
Whoa!
because not a lot of people know that. She actually has another talent that not a lot of people know about and not a lot of people figured out till a long time ago.
All right.
She's also the ultimate assassin.
I like that about her.
So she's got 2 talents.
Yeah, I like it. And but they haven't figured. I mean, they don't.
But they
give
don't
her-
know that about
They
her.
don't give her credit yet.
No, they don't. They don't. They just know her as the ultimate child caregiver. So
Okay.
somehow she's good with kids, but maybe she's not necessarily the best
What?
with liking that job.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
And then, do we
more
have any
than
opinions on her
they-
eyes?
Yeah.
No.
No opinion on her eyes. Didn't
Sad.
like the eyes.
Very
Pretty sad.
No, she just, in this photo, she just looks young to me, even though she's an assassin and probably good at her job and experienced at it, but she just looks young for that job.
That's why they
That's
haven't
fair.
given her
That's
any
fair. They're all
credit
high
yet.
schoolers,
Yeah.
so yeah, they're all pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next is a guy, I think. This is Korakyo Shinguji.
Whoa.
He's very extravagant.
I can see that, and he's been around, and he's very into himself, and he thinks he's all that.
What do you think he does? What's his talent?
Oh gosh, I see roses and thorns, and I see a skeleton head, and what's that supposed to be? Like a bloody rose?
I think that's ink. Yeah.
Ink,
And that
okay.
hat, that's another sign of authority. The local police or
he's
the army
clearly-
or whatever.
And he's two-faced.
And he's yeah.
He's an anthropologist, so he studies culture, of, like from all over the world, And I'm not sure if this picture best
I
amplifies
don't
that,
see any other
not.
culture there.
but
Just the cultures.
yeah,
mean,
this picture may not be the best thing to show that, but he loves like all kinds of culture from all over the world.
Because it makes him look like a warrior and a different face, and so it looks like he's providing two faces to the world. And yeah, I don't think that's the best thing to say at anthropologist.
Do we like this guy? Do we think he's a good guy or a bad guy?
The picture makes him look evil. Just that he's turning roses into blood or whatever that is.
Do you think maybe he's like the rival character to the main girl I showed you first?
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. No,
No,
you don't see that? You don't think he's the main bad guy?
No.
No authoritative eyes?
You can't see his eyes.
No. I think I'd see
He's
the
only like
authoritarian.
one pair of eyes, and that was from the one pretty girl.
right,
From
yeah.
Aruma.
Authoritarian. He comes in because of
But
his
that's a
military hat and
military.
uniform. That's the
So
authoritarian.
the uniform shows off, but his face doesn't.
Right.
Okay, so yeah.
Now he's got a
And-
beard. He's got a beard.
And
That's actually a mask. He wears a
Yeah.
mask that covers most of his lips.
And the first girl doesn't seem like she would be interested in a military guy. She's too
Okay.
independent.
Too independent, so definitely would not be.
I don't
Definitely
think
not.
so.
You definitely don't ship her with him.
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Good. Okay. I like that opinion. Good.
Okay.
Up top.
See, I
Okay.
can't even do a high five. I miss all the time.
I missed two, so it's okay.
Okay.
Next up is another guy, I think. This is one of my personal favorites, Kaito Momota. Can you guess what his talent is?
Smoking weed?
Oh,
Well, he does have the pipe.
Yeah.
But no. Here's a hint. As you can see from his coat, his coat's kind of got stars and moons,
He's
and he got a
trying to-
moon behind
Oh,
him.
so
Right,
he's
he's
the
in the-
astronomer or
Yes.
astrologer or something.
Yes, the
right,
ultimate
that's right, yes.
astronaut.
That's what he is.
Astronaut. Okay.
He's an astronaut in training, actually, but his dream is to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
He's
what
a
it is.
mystic, is ready to disagree with you, whatever you say. You can see it in his face. So
Really?
if you,
Okay.
if you say the moon is round, he's going to say it's square.
It's
and
square.
Here's why. Yeah.
So maybe he likes to argue a lot with the main protagonist,
Absolutely.
with the girl.
He likes to argue with anybody.
Ooh, really?
Anybody.
Well, I don't
And
know that he
even
wants
if
to
you-
argue.
No?
Go ahead.
No, even if you agree with
I
him,
think-
he's going to find a way
I
to
think
disagree with you.
And what do you think about him?
No, I think he feels part of what she's saying that he is smarter than anyone else in the room because of his power to see and foresee and foretell, both looking back and what's coming ahead, astronomy
But
wise.
he's an astronomer, not an
That's right.
astrologer.
Well, but
Right.
all of that is who he thinks he is,
Oh.
and he's
So even though he's an astronaut, you think like he's all about all this extra
Yes.
stuff.
think
Yes,
he's
I do.
a
Yeah.
cocky little son of a bitch.
Whoa, language, language, Debbie.
I'm sorry, I may not be an angel anymore.
Mhm.
Anyway,
right.
doesn't he just look cocky and like he knows it all? And
You
and
don't
he's
think
gonna
you don't
argue.
think he's like a friendly guy
No.
or like
I
no?
don't like him.
You don't like him at
No,
all.
I don't.
Okay.
no.
And he's one of my favorites. Can you guess why?
Because he smokes pot.
You have such a low opinion of me, Debbie.
No, that was a high opinion.
I'm glad we're having fun. I'm glad we're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's scientific. Because he's
Honestly, I just like his design.
Why?
I just like his coat. I like his pants. I like his little shirt that's kind of like
Yeah, I was
weird
looking
goat
at that.
thing.
Well, I'm sorry, you're very
And
wrong.
his hair.
You're just wrong.
You just don't like his design? You don't like it?
I don't.
Out of all the characters,
Well, I mean,
she's one of my favorites.
I think it's a wonderful design for somebody that I don't like.
You think
But-
it's a wonderful design for a cocky son of a bitch?
Yeah, I do. Pretty much, yes.
Okay, I can
do.
respect that. I can
I
respect
mean, look
that.
at his hair, and he's got kind of an evil smile, and like, yeah, I'm going to disagree with you no matter what you say. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All
there
right,
you
so
go.
that's Kaito Momoda. Next up, another. This isn't my favorite, but,
Okay.
but this is everybody's favorite.
Okay.
Everybody else's favorite. This is K1B0 or Kibo. He's a robot. That's his talent.
Okay.
What do you think Kibo acts like?
A warrior.
A warrior? You think because he's got like his hand out and he's kind of
And it
shooting
looks
something?
Like it looks like a sword or something, and he's got kind of a warrior stance, and looks like maybe somebody is shooting at him.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he's a nice guy when he's not attacking somebody like this?
I mean, we know
He's
he's
a robot.
a defender.
Who knows? Yeah.
He's a robot, but I don't see him as a defender for us.
Mm-hmm.
I see him as a robot attacker.
Okay, so he's
us.
an evil robot.
Well,
I don't know if
evil.
robots
No, I don't
can
say
be
I don't say evil,
But
other than he wants to take over. Now, if that's being evil? No, in this case,
no.
But he wants to take over, to be in charge, and his cult will now rule.
Well, no, wait a minute.
Oh,
Robots
so
are-
there was another guy from before. I don't know if you remember, but he was an actual cult leader.
Yeah.
Do you think he gets along with this robot? Maybe.
Probably, they're probably will work together to a degree, and then they'll have a fight.
Now, wait a
Interesting.
minute.
Okay.
Robots have to be controlled by somebody, right? So
Right. There's the 3 laws of robotics.
So, right. So he can't be for or against anybody. It's
Or can he?
whoever happens to be in control at the moment and holding
Good.
the
Good idea.
switches.
So here's a better question. He's a robot. He's a self-growing AI.
Okay.
And he's got this computer inside him that's growing and learning like a normal human being would almost.
Okay.
But how do you think the person controlling him or himself really acts like? Do you think they're a good person or a bad person? How do they think they control Kibo? Do they think they use him in a good way or a bad way?
I think that could go anyway with whoever's holding the controls.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And you
it
think
may
multiple
take
people
off-
may hold the control?
It's possible and they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, I mean, maybe the story takes off that then he grows these superpowers where he has his own controls. But I don't think a robot can be good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be whoever is
And I think
sending the commands.
And I think one of the people we've seen previously is in control of this guy.
At least one.
Really?
Maybe
At least
both.
one?
Yeah,
So you think one of the
maybe.
people we've already seen controls him?
And maybe 2
Interesting
people
opinion. I
are-
really like that, actually.
And it
I really
could
like
be very
that.
much that the good and the bad, whatever good and bad equals in this scenario,
Mm-hmm.
may both have some controls in there. And so the robot's conflicted, and maybe then robot grows some kind of heart, brain, whatever out of it and goes for the good or the evil. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, I like these opinions on him. This is the fan favorite character for a lot of people. A lot of people really like
Well, because
him.
he could be anything. Good, bad, indifferent.
That's one way to look at it. Yes, yeah, I like that. That's good. So that's Kibo.
Okay.
Next up is a girl, I think. This is Angie Onaga. What do you think she does?
Busts
Boy.
balls.
Oh, I think
Really? I thought this one would be a little bit obvious.
Well,
what
I
her
mean,
talent would be.
She's got a hammer and
Mhm. And then what's she doing with
oh,
this?
she's carving a totem or something? Is that what
Right,
she's doing?
right.
Okay.
She's the ultimate artist.
Yeah.
She's so, in particular, she's a sculptor right now.
Okay.
Interesting.
And it wouldn't surprise me if she was, even though she's these are Asian people,
Mm-hmm.
they also have those outskirt islands that are part of Japan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, it looks like she's showing her outskirt island.
Hey, whoa, hey, hey.
but
She's in
yes,
high school.
as an artist,
Come on, look at it.
as an artist, she had to have gained some insight on how to make this piece of wood look like that. And just sitting at the house or in school, she didn't see that. That comes.
So do you think maybe she lives like somewhere exotic, maybe?
Or she's from
and-
exotic.
and
She's from one of the
maybe-
exotic
To another place?
In one of the Japanese islands.
Well, and
You're not wrong. You're absolutely right. She's a transfer student, actually. So that's why she's a little bit different.
And maybe this will become a robot or have some properties in another episode or something.
All right.
Yeah, you never know.
How do we think she acts? Is she a nice person or a mean person?
Oh, she's a good person.
Good person?
She's a good person.
She's neither.
She's college. She's having fun.
No, she's not good or evil. She's just she has a purpose. She's doing what she does, and I don't think it's good or evil. It's just who she is.
Actually, she just has beer every night.
All right, Kavanaugh.
with the rest of the guys.
Yeah, the keg is half full.
She likes beer.
I like beer. I still like beer.
Again, Mom, we'll get a video with your opinion soon.
I was not giving you my opinion. I was just making a joke.
Yeah, I like beer. The
Okay.
keg is half full.
Okay. So that's Angie Yanaga. And next up is another girl. I think they're almost all girls. And okay, we got a couple guys after this. But this is Himiko Yumeno.
And she likes animals and tames them and
What do you think she does? What's her talent?
taming animals.
her
Oh,
ta-
well, she's got cards though. She
That's right.
reads tarot cards or
That's right. And she's
no, that's a regular deck of
wait a minute,
cards.
that's an early Halloween outfit.
She's a magician.
Oh well,
yeah.
yeah.
But as you probably can guess
can
from
see
this,
that.
she thinks she's a witch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
said the Halloween outfit with the hat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
you're
the
right.
cape.
So she's a magician, but she's not all that good. But
You don't think so?
well, I mean, if she thinks she's a witch and she's really not, then probably she's not as good as she thinks.
Her eyes
Well,
are
maybe she is a witch. We
And
don't.
she
You don't
gets-
think she could be a witch?
Well, you said she thinks she is. I thought maybe she was. just-
Well, she definitely believes she's a witch.
Okay, well,
We'll just
and
say that much.
Well, but she
Perhaps
needs
she
some
is.
harder eyes.
She needs some harder eyes.
I don't
Those
know.
are too
'cause,
soft. If she
you know,
thinks she's a
no,
witch.
Well, look at her
no.
expression. She's got her tongue out.
No.
Too soft to be a witch. She-
No, a witch doesn't necessarily have to be hard looking. A witch can be deceptive. I mean,
Ooh,
yeah.
really? So you think she might be a deceptive kind of
Well,
person?
it's very possible because.
Every
Witch
witch I ever seen on the movies or TV was
Yeah, they were
was,
deceptive.
was ugly. Was
Oh.
tough looking.
The teenage witch.
What do you mean? Yeah. What about Sabrina the Teenage Witch? You ever seen her?
No.
No. So you don't believe she's a witch
I
because
do.
she's too pretty.
Well,
She's too no. She can be a witch, but if you
But
want if you want her to look like a witch, you got to make her a little more witchy looking.
oh, that's
Okay, so you don't think she
no.
could be a witch because she's
Not looking. She's
She's
looking
too-
too soft.
she's
too cute.
deceptive.
too soft,
She's-
too cute to be a
no.
witch.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I
That's
like
fair.
that she's cute and that she thinks she's a witch, and perhaps she is. And that's part of the deceit. That's part of the why she's an effective witch
Right,
because
right.
she's very cute.
How do you think she gets along with some of the other characters that we've shown you so far?
On the outside, I think she gets along very well, but you never really know what she's thinking or what she's doing in the background.
Interesting. I like that. That's very interesting. You have any opinion on how she interacts with some of the other characters I've shown you?
As a witch, she thinks she's different,
Mm-hmm.
and that she would probably be able to manipulate some of the other people's thoughts by trickery.
Ooh, I
like
like that.
that.
I like that a lot.
That's good.
That's a very good expression. Very good thoughts. Very good thoughts. I like that. Okay. This is Tenko Chabashira.
Do you have a telephone number for her?
You like her. You really like her.
Ah.
You're not gonna like this though. She hates males. She absolutely despises them. Calls them degenerates.
Well, most of them are, but David isn't. So,
Well, she considers all males.
well, yeah, I understand that. She's
Can you guess what her talent is?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
karate or
Yeah,
something.
that's right. That's right.
She does Aikido.
Aikido. I don't know that,
So,
but
same kind of thing. The thing about Aikido though is you don't really attack people. You use people's movement against them.
Whatevs. I mean, pretty much
Whatevs. Okay.
anybody's movements could be used against them, even if it's a friendly movement. You could like smack my hand and
Well, it's like
Yeah,
you try to punch me and I take that force and
and punch
to-
David.
yeah, exactly.
Well, go her, but I don't like her.
You don't like her, but you like her. You want her telephone number.
Yeah.
Only because she would become a challenge.
Oh, now I know why you liked me.
Well.
Interesting.
Well, yeah,
no. Wait a minute, but challenge in the sense that she's knowledgeable in something that I know nothing about.
Okay.
And would be challenging to learn something, but at the same time, even though she dislikes men,
Mm-hmm.
I think I couldn't convert her over 100%, but I think that I would have some influence on her future opinion.
So,
Well, she's
do you
had a
think
bad
maybe some of the
background.
other boys in the cast may be able to do the same thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think some
well,
of them might be able to convince her that boys aren't so bad?
They want
Yes.
to try, and she's had something in her background that
That's
has
right.
turned her against males, I think.
Mhm.
And maybe we need to get to the bottom of that. But in the meantime, she's a tough cookie, and
Yeah.
she's distrusting of pretty much everyone, I think.
Very good, actually. Very good. Yeah. That's a lot, pretty much what she is. Yeah.
All right.
Very nice. This is another one of my favorites. This is Kirumi Tojo. Can you guess what she does?
Cleans?
She's a
She's a
she
maid.
don't drink.
She's a maid, okay, yeah.
She's clean.
But, yeah.
She's, if you notice, she's kind of got like a history Victorian dress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's but because she's a maid and she cleans up, she sees a lot of evidence that other people don't see.
Ooh, like so.
Right.
So we're going back to like the whole idea
We're
of
going back
crimes.
to, right, and,
And then-
so she sees.
So
the
you think maybe she works with a
DNA and
detective?
it's very
She could
possible
very well.
she could,
Yep.
Mm.
or she could work unrelated to the detective, and they could be in conflict with each other because she's finding things that he is too dapper to be looking for. And,
Interesting.
And
Okay,
people,
okay.
That's right.
people discount her because she's a maid,
Mhm.
and so they talk in front of her. They say things they wouldn't say in front of anybody else,
Mhm.
and she picks up on all of that.
Interesting. Okay. David, do you have any
I
opinions
like
about
that.
her? Do you
I
like her?
that. I do.
You do?
I like her.
I like her.
You've liked a couple of the girls actually.
Well,
This
what a shock!
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. No, wait a minute. No, wait.
not that that's a bad thing. Not that that's a bad
I'm
thing.
just
I'm just saying. I'm
kidding.
not saying. No. I'm not going to go up and ask her for a date as I would a couple of the other ones.
Right, like
But
like the
that's
pink
right.
one.
That's right. No. I like her just because she is who she is. She works
Right,
hard,
and she-
and she hears a lot of stuff like Debbie says that she can relate and work with higher authorities.
Right.
Our detective guy.
Cool.
Yeah, and
cool.
people say things around her because she's just a maid, and
She's
so
just a maid, but
yeah, so
but you
she
shouldn't. But
picks
you
up.
shouldn't do that because she's higher than you think
Exactly,
she
because
is.
she's listening.
She's always listening. Mm.
That's what I think.
Cool. Okay. Nice. We got 3 more.
Okay.
All right. This is Ganta Gokuhara. What do you think he does?
Oh, that's one of them guys with all that long hair that Debbie would take
Well, it
home to
looks
her
like-
father, and
That
he would
looks like a sickle.
say, "No
where
way."
he's like some sort of magical sickle or something. What is that?
Well, this
Wait a
is just the lines of him moving it very fast, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's actually an
He-
entomologist.
So bugs. He likes bugs.
Yes, thank you. I can't say that word right ever, but,
But
yes, he
just-
likes bugs.
Okay.
but dressed up with a shirt and tie on,
Mhm.
and he likes bugs.
Mhm.
That
Also
doesn't
notice,
relate.
also notice he's barefoot,
That
unlike
doesn't,
any of the other characters we've
Yeah.
seen.
doesn't relate to me that with the way he's dressed, that he's gonna
That he'd be
that he's a
barefoot.
that he's a bug man.
I think
You don't think he likes his talent?
Yeah, I think he likes it. I think that people looking at him would not suspect it.
Mhm.
Now, what the bugs are doing in
He
the
don't look like
bigger
a bug
scheme
man.
of things, I don't know.
He
but-
don't
And
like.
see, also here he's got like a little terrarium thing like around his,
Oh,
Yeah.
so he
yeah.
can like carry bugs with him.
So, now how he fits in with the story,
How do you think he interacts with some of the other characters? Is he a nice guy or a mean guy or?
he's neither. He's independent, and he's, sort of a John the Baptist.
He's
where
kind
he's,
of
like,
self-absorbent.
eating, No, he's eating locusts and honey, and he's a deep woods guy, and
Deep woods guy.
Yeah,
okay.
he
Even though he's got like a suit and
he's-
everything.
Yeah, he's barefoot, and he's his hair's wild, and he just goes where the bugs take him, and
he goes
fascinated by
he
by
goes
the
to
bugs.
he goes to the bar where the lady is, where the maid is, and tries and pick up women.
You think he tries to be a ladies' man?
Oh,
Yeah.
stop drinking and what? No.
With that shirt and tie and all that stuff and everything.
No, he's
So he's gonna go out and find damn bugs in the street. I mean,
Would
in the alley with that
you
shirt
guys
and
be
tie?
surprised that he's kind of a Tarzan-esque guy?
no. That's what I'm saying. He's out there and he's looking for bugs and he's independent. And no, I would not be surprised. David
I
apparently
am.
would, but
You are a little bit
no,
surprised?
I mean, look at the hair and he's on a mission.
He's a wild man,
Yeah,
yes?
he's a wild man.
Okay.
I like him.
Very differing opinions on him,
Very
but
much,
you know what?
always.
I like hearing this. This is very good. I like hearing this. I like hearing two different sides. Okay, two more.
Uh-oh.
Didn't get the close up on that one. This is Ryoma Hoshi.
Is that
Can-
like a child prodigy?
He's a little person.
Okay.
He's a little person, but he's still a high school student like the rest of them.
And he has a tennis racket and a tennis ball.
So, what do you think he does?
He hits things into the universe. I don't know.
He's the ultimate tennis player.
Okay, ultimate tennis player.
Pretty
Okay.
pretty obvious.
So yeah, so I was trying to make something.
Nothing too big about him. He's a tennis player.
And who's his mama and daddy? Do we know? I mean, do we know?
What's
Is it
this
one of
thing
the
on his
people we've
hat?
already
It's two rackets.
seen,
See,
or-
like they're
Oh, I
So-
see.
he's pulling a Tiger Woods. He's got his
yeah.
own.
No, Serena Williams.
He's got his own logo.
yeah.
Is that a cigarette in his mouth?
It's yes, it is. Sometimes he's been known to have a lollipop, but I believe this one's a cigarette.
Okay. Well, he's a little brat. I don't know who his mama is, but he's very talented. He is not controllable.
Mm-hmm.
He's his talent will evolve to be more than a tennis player, but it will evolve out of that. I don't know whether he'll knock universes out of the sky or what he's going to do, but he's going to be a juvenile delinquent first.
It's funny you mention that because if you look closely at his leg, there seems to be a chain there for some reason. I wonder why that could be.
I wonder why that is. A little ankle bracelet going on.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
So,
maybe
yeah.
he got that from some kind of jail time?
Well,
Maybe?
it's very possible, or at least, he was not
Or do you think maybe
the
he was
ideal
captured for
student
some
Actually-
or
actually-
something.
Actually, he's in jail and he's chained. He's in jail.
Mhm.
See those stripes on his
Oh,
clothes?
yeah.
Mhm.
No, he could be in jail and learning to play tennis while he's in jail.
Interesting. What if? And let me
Okay.
just throw this out there.
Okay.
What if he actually got in trouble because of his tennis skills? What if he
Oh.
maybe hurt people with his tennis skills?
That could be, or I don't know what kind of culture this is. There could be people who are very envious of his tennis skills
Mm-hmm.
and wanted him to stop playing tennis, and he wouldn't, and so they tried to censor him.
And when you say a little person as opposed to, but he's a high school student.
He's a high school student, but
But
he's
he's
like
little.
he's. Let me get his actual height for you real
And it's
quick.
the only. It's
He
the
is
only
3'5".
skill- Okay.
Okay.
Oh, he can't at that height. His legs aren't long enough for him to be speedy and fast.
Oh, for the love! This is make believe.
It is fictional to be after all, and
Yeah,
he's
and this
considered
is-
the ultimate tennis pro, which
Yes,
means
and
he's very good at
so,
what he
yeah.
does.
Okay.
So
Well,
you
this-
think so?
This could
You
be
think-
Naomi who beat Serena. We don't know that.
Yeah. Essentially, he's the Serena Williams of Japan. Think about
Right.
that.
Or maybe the Naomi who
So,
beat Serena
so
Williams.
despite like him being small and like you said, like him having short legs and maybe not
Yeah.
being the fastest, he's the best there is at what he does. So think about
And
that.
so how
How do you think he does
pissed would-
that?
How pissed would Serena be?
It's with
this
strength.
little guy.
With strength,
Yeah.
you think he's able to like knock the ball out so fast,
Yeah.
like maybe
Yeah, that's
people
right.
can't
Yeah,
react.
look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
their will going
they're
around.
upset and they're chaining him and they're trying to restrain him, either to figure out how he got so fast at such a small height, or so powerful, or
Like a weedy smoker.
to do experiments on how he got to where he is,
That's what
or
makes him
to
strong.
punish him for
The weed.
For the time.
to
It
read.
makes him think quicker.
I
Makes
don't
him
know why
think
you
ahead
didn't
of time.
talk, because Steve was gonna
I love
talk
I
over
love
me.
how we've mentioned we at least 3 different times about
Yeah.
separate characters.
Yeah.
I love that. And none of us are about that, but
None.
no, but we keep bringing it up.
I know.
Okay. Last character. I'm
Okay.
sorry this took so long,
No,
guys.
this was fun. I had fun.
Good. Then maybe we'll do it with another cast of characters some
Okie
other
dokie.
time.
Yeah.
But for now, we'll just do this last character. This is Monokuma. He is the main villain of this video game,
No.
as in case you couldn't guess. What he does to force he takes all these students, he traps them in a high school, and he forces them to try to kill each other.
Okay.
He's a robot. He's an evil robot.
Okay.
So unlike the other robot that I showed you guys, this one's definitely evil. And he's a little robot bear. He's 2-1, very small.
Okay. So we got the good bear
Mhm.
who is like, oh, love me.
You mean
love
on the
me.
white side,
Yes.
Right,
And
yeah.
then when the high school student says, oh, come on with me, bear, then the bad bear comes out and instills them with some evil power.
Interesting. Okay.
But they want to believe him, I mean, because he looks like such a cute little innocent bear.
Do we think he's like an outright bad guy, or maybe like does he have like kind of conflicting interest in his heart?
Yes.
Conflicting. I mean, the
right.
black and white and the smile and the
And he
evil
will get them
smile
to
and
fight each other and go against each other. He'll step back and watch because he's a small guy. And then at the end, depending on who's left, he'll figure out a way how to conquer that.
That's the ultimate yin and
Interesting.
yang.
Okay.
I mean, you can't have a tug of war without both sides.
And do we like this robot, despite that he's a villain? Do we like his design at least?
I like the design, and he's somebody that you really want to trust, although you have concerns about the idea of trusting.
Would you be surprised to know that even if you destroy him, another one would come back?
That makes sense to me. Because there's the good and the evil. And so if you destroy one,
And that's his belly button that you're pointing at.
the
by
other
way.
will come back, but there will be still the conflict. There'll still be, you can't have a tug of war without good and evil. So yeah. However, he will regenerate. However
Okay.
you kill him.
Okay. Any other last thoughts on him before I ask you guys one more question and then we finish off?
He didn't decide on his fate. This is
Interesting.
not the fate he decided
So even
on.
though he's the main bad guy, you don't think he chose that life?
I do not think so.
Interesting. Okay. David, any last thoughts?
Based on what she's saying, once he's gone, someone will replace him out of the same species.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So there's more bears.
Of course.
Okay.
There's always good and evil.
Okay.
A tug of war, no
So-
matter what.
Last question I'm going to ask you guys. This one's going to be pretty simple. Let me see if I can find a good picture. Okay, so here are all the characters I've shown you all together, except for the
Okay.
last one, Monokuma. Can you tell me, out of what we've guessed, what we've talked about, who do you think your favorite is, girl or boy, or both? If you're having a tough time to choose.
So this isn't part of the guy we just saw?
He's remember the guy with the cape?
Okay.
That's him.
Okay. This is the most
That's the guy I play.
oh. Okay, well he's the most well-rounded character who can kind of take into consideration things he's seen and heard and make an informed decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you think is he one of your favorites then?
He's strong.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is one of the last girls we saw.
Maid?
I liked the maid.
She's one of my favorites.
I liked the maid.
I think one of your favorites is probably her.
Yeah.
She's the inventor we saw
Right,
earlier.
yeah.
She drove me a little crazy. I think it was the maid that I liked. I'm
The,
not sure.
the maid's over
Yeah.
here. That's Kurumi Tojo. You
Yeah,
like her?
I liked her. Yeah.
Okay. I like her a lot too. She's not my favorite. Like I said,
There's
Kaito Momoto's my favorite, but that's just my opinion.
There's no one who is completely unlikable or completely likable.
You think this is a diverse cast?
I do. Yeah. I mean, there's always a yes but on each of them.
And the role that he plays, I like,
Yeah.
based on what we said.
On the detective guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
And the last
I
person
like him.
is the maid.
The maid?
Yeah. And honestly, the evil, that bear, is all of us, I think. I mean, we all have a little of both of them in us.
Now, the bear tries to, like I said before, he tries to force these guys to kill each other.
Okay.
Do you think any of them are successful? Do you think any of them actually become murderers? Or do you think they all kind of work together and try to stop the bear?
No.
No. You think some killing happens?
Yes.
I think, I mean, I would like to believe
That they all
that
work
they
together?
see through the bear and that eventually, because they're all so diverse and there are friendships formed within each of them, that maybe at some point maybe there's some killing, but at some point they all figure out how to get along and fight against the evil forces.
I think who comes out on top,
Who comes out on top? Who survives?
who survives, you're going to have 2 or 3 of them that's going to survive. And
How many do you think survive in the game? 2 or 3?
Well, if they're murderers,
4. There's 4.
You think 4 survive?
No, wait a minute. There's 5 that's going to survive, but out of that, the last one we saw, the bear, is the 5th one who will ultimately rule.
that's what I was going to say. One
The other
person
4.
survives. If there's killing, one survives, and that's
But it
the
gets
bear,
down to 4.
because he will pit people against each other.
Right.
Interesting. Interesting.
I would like to think that doesn't happen, but this is human nature, so or anime nature, depending on how you look at it. I don't know.
Animated nature.
Know.
Animated nature. Yes.
That's
Yes.
right.
If I remember correctly, I believe only 3 of these individuals survive.
Okay.
So a lot of them end up dying.
And who are the 3 who survive?
Can you guess? You'd be surprised. Let me just say that much.
Okay. The maid.
The maid, you think she survives?
Yeah, because she's
No.
onto him and nobody knows.
She
it.
won't survive.
You
No?
don't think so?
Do you think she'll be killed, or do you think she's a murderer?
Yes.
Oh, a murderer.
And the one that's
Because see, here's the thing. Every time there's a murder, a class trial takes place, kind of like a little courtroom scenario. And then if they can figure out who killed who, the murderer dies.
Whoa.
But if they don't figure out who killed who, then everyone else dies.
Oh, then I can't be responsible for that.
That's a lot of responsibility. I don't blame you.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of
I
responsibility.
just can't
But
go
three
there.
end up surviving this game, which means they all survive multiple murders. They survive the multiple cases of murders. So they got some smart people on this team.
I don't know, but I would pick out
Do you think the detective comes out on top?
no.
No, really. Even though we
Even
really
though I
like him,
I really
even though
like
we really
him.
like him,
I really like him.
you
But
think he
know
might
what?
maybe he dies or something?
I mean, not if he's really Sherlock Holmes, but
No,
because I would hate to think of Sherlock Holmes. So
I think one of the ones that comes out
Mm-hmm.
that's going to surprise you
Mhm.
is the fortune teller lady.
The fortune teller lady.
With
which
the
one? Which one?
With the playing cards and
playing cards. And
Oh,
all
her.
that could
The
foretell
the mage.
and look into the future and see
You think Himiko could? You think Himiko could?
whatever her name is.
Yes.
her too.
Her-
Well, the
she's-
fortune teller later, that would make sense that she would survive.
She's a well, she's not a fortune teller. She's a magician.
Oh, magician. Okay, what else?
Whatevs, yes.
Okay.
But you're actually right. She actually is one of the 3 survivors. Good guess. Very good guess.
Okay.
It's a pure miracle that she made it. But she does survive.
All
Who
right.
else survives, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe this little guy.
You think him?
I don't know.
You think Hoshi?
Maybe. I mean, because he's unlikely, and so I want to think him. David says no.
David
says
See, I'm
no?
not good at
No,
this,
not
but
him.
I'm
Not
going to
him.
go
Not
with
Hoshi?
him.
Okay. Well, 2 more besides her make it.
Okay, so not okay.
Is this too hard?
Are they female or male?
One of them's a male,
One
for sure.
Yes, there's one more male and
Oh
one more
my
female.
Gosh, you're so good at this, David.
There's one more male and one more
Okay.
female who
Well,
come out on
gonna,
top.
I'm going to say the constable makes it, even though I don't want him to.
Mm-hmm.
And the female, I'm still going with the maid.
You still think the maid?
Yeah.
Okay. David, who do you think? Him? Shinguchi, the anthropologist?
No, it's a female.
No, for the man.
Oh, for the man.
This guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The anthropologist guy who, even though he's got a shirt and tie on and all, he
I
knows
did
something.
like him a lot.
He knows something that we don't know,
I
or
liked
that
him
they're
way
having
better
a
than the
judgment. And he's
constable.
kind of one that hides back in the shadows, and he's quiet.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
maybe you made it. I'd like to think that.
All right.
Sad news.
No, you didn't make it.
I was
You were
the first to die.
go.
I was the very first to die.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Okay.
But that's
See,
one of
being-
the reasons why I'm so popular is because everyone doesn't really know my personality, so they can kind of make it up.
Guys finish last.
Yep. It's a
All
sad
right,
story, but it's
so-
Or
true.
go first or whatever.
So who was the
however you
guy
want
that
to.
survived?
Okay, so besides Himiko that survives,
Okay.
you were right,
The
Debbie.
constable.
The constable Saihara survives, and then the other one who survives is Maki Harakawa, the caregiver or the assassin.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
the assassin would survive.
these 3 come out on top, and they're able to solve. They're able to solve everything. They're able to beat the bear
Okay.
and end up escaping the school and
Well,
be
then
able
there
to live
has
their
to
lives
be
again.
another bear for the next generation.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
There-
so far this is the last
there's-
game in the series, and there hasn't been anything for future. But that's interesting that you say that.
There's a tug of war.
There's a tug of
Always
war.
between good and evil.
Hmm.
And you can't have a tug on good if there's not a tug on evil.
So you think maybe these 3 will continue to survive, and then something will
And
happen?
something else will come up, and there'll be another cast of characters. I mean, it has to be.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has to be.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you
That
guys.
was fun. That was a lot of
I
fun.
hope you guys
Thank
had as much fun as I did because I
I
thought
had
that
a
was
ton
a
of
great time.
fun.
We talked for over an hour
You're
about these
kidding.
characters.
This was fun.
At $100 an hour, can you send my check to 88 Bishop
I
for this interview and conducting for this.
Of course, I will gladly do so.
That's right.
Thank you both
He's
so
insane.
much.
This was fun.